Orleans.
Tonight we start Week 5 with a primetime matchup between the Green Bay Packers and the New Orleans Saints. Seems like we were just starting training camp, but here we are in October, and off we go on EA Sports.
And here comes a return from the middle of the end zone. And the decision to come out of the end zone is going to cost him 5 yards as he's taken down right at the 20.
At their own 20-yard line.
Off the play fake to Jones. Here's Rodgers. And incomplete to open things up.
I think he's got to be careful not to force anything into coverage right there. There weren't really any throwing lanes. But the best part for him, he's got second and third down to fall back on.
Again from the 20 after the incompletion. Here's second and 10.
He's got the hook up with Dobbs.
And they'll get 8 out of this before being stopped at the 28. That was a lightning-fast decision that time. He just caught it and got rid of it.
Because he saw his guy was going to be open immediately, so he took the R, the run, out of the play. He took the O, the option, out of the play, and immediately got to the pass.
An early task, 2 plays in. This is 3rd and 2. They'll try and run for it with Jones. And he won't be close to a first down as he runs into a wall right around the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there. Nice job defensively. And it likely forces a punt situation on 4th.
O'Donnell, he's on to punt as he gets this one away. Here's Smith to return it.
That'll go as a 42-yard punt, but a net of 32. They had a 10-yard return. And the Saints will take over with a first down and 10.
Winston and the Saints now with a 1st and 10 at their own 37.
They'll start this drive out on the ground. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. The drive starting with a first down, 11 yards on that pickup.
Usually we see runs like this as the defense breaks down later in the game, but this guy is setting the tone early, running through all types of tackles and putting the defense back on its heels.
Right back to him on first down. And the reinforcements come in as they're going to stop him behind the line. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
I think we got to give it up for him right there. That's a heck of an athletic move for a big man right in the middle of the line. How about the play he makes there? Nowhere to run, and he finishes that one off for a loss.
Now they contend with a 2nd and 12 after the loss. Jameis to throw it.
There's Chris Olave.
And he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40.
Winston on target to Olave for the Saints first.
How about this throw right here? Had to throw it to the left sideline, and you know the timing's got to be correct on this one. Ball's got to be right where it needs to be, and it was. That's because he had great arm strength on that one, able to drive the football. Quarterbacks love it when they can show off their arms.
On first down,
It's Brooks. And this time they were waiting for him as he'll be knocked down before he can get back to the line of scrimmage. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
That was well played there defensively. 2 tight ends in the formation, which essentially gave them 7 blockers up front. Hard to imagine with all that size and beef that they could let a tackler through. But that's exactly what happened. A loss resulted.
On 2nd and 11 now. Winston. Packer pressure, and down he goes. Credit that sack to Dante Fowler Jr. So that time, Charles, quarterback helpless really in the pocket in the face of a pass rush like that. They were on him instantly.
Yeah, that's one where you turn to your lineman and say, guys, can I get a little help here? And you have to ask politely because, remember, they're blocking for you the entire game. But as a quarterback, you've also got to have the clock running in your head when you need to get rid of the football. But this time, he had no chance. They were on him instantly.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. He gets this one complete to Traquan Smith. And he's going to be taken down at about the 33.
There's another example what defensive coaches constantly preach, not allowing any run after the catch. They give up a few more yards than they wanted to, but they were able to get him down quickly and force a 4th down.
The kick by Lutz is good. So he's been automatic to this point of the season, and he connects on the field goal there.
And what a luxury it is to have a kicker you can depend upon, partner, because he hasn't missed all year long. Converts on that one as well, and kudos to you. You didn't jinx him.
Following the made field goal, Lutz to kick it away. This will be brought out from the middle of the end zone. And ultimately cannot get this out to the 25-yard line as he's dropped at the 23. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway.
And on the first drive, 3 and out. And I know that these are professional athletes, but I would imagine sometimes you get the nerves at the beginning of the game still, don't you?
Those don't ever go away. And typically what I've heard from guys and what I remember from playing, if you don't have nerves at the start of a game, it's not going to be a great day for you. You're not really ready to play. So finding a way to harness those nerves and not let them affect you in a negative way, that's what all the guys are looking for.
After the sack, it's 2nd and 19, and the road gets a bit tougher from here. Rodgers going to throw. Oh, that's into a double team, and it's intercepted. Marcus May with a pick, and the Saints are going to take possession of the football. They're trying to resurrect his confidence. Last week was a disaster. 5 interceptions in that loss, and another pick there.
I played with a quarterback like this before, and he had a tough game, and the head coach said, I'll take him, I'll fix him. The very next game, he started out the exact same way. The head coach turned to the offense coordinator and said, he's yours from now on. Someone has to take responsibility and work with him and try and get him settled.
Call it a gain of 4 on first, and that'll make it 2nd down.
But we all know the guy carrying the ball is going to get the credit, both in the stat line and probably in the newspaper. But guess what? Those guys creating holes, they couldn't feel better about themselves right now. Offensive line, tight end, probably even the wide receivers are involved. They're moving the ball well.
And he'll be taken down at the 2-yard line. Sets him up nicely. 1st and goal. It was a pickup of 14. A little tough on the secondary there. End zone defensively. Quarterback had time to survey and find a spot.
And if you want to change things up and put a little more pressure on him, you can go to man coverage. Everyone matches up and send more pressure. But you can also do it out of zone coverage if you're worried about what's going to happen on your back end. Send someone else, drop someone else out of the line. The old zone blitz could come into play to try and get that pressure on the quarterback.
That's going to go as a loss of 1 on 1st down.
That's a really alert defense there because they saw the heavy look come in from the offense, countered it with extra linebackers who brought a little bit of speed and heft, and able to really make a big-time play for their defense.
On 2nd and goal, Winston. Oh, hit as he throws there, incomplete.
They're bringing a lot of pressure here already in the first quarter. Already sacked him once. Now they get in there and knock another one away. You think maybe that Tucker rule being gone makes defenses a lot bolder?
Yes, indeed. That time, lucky that the arm was going forward. Incomplete pass. Third and goal. Winston. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
You absolutely have to have this early on, right? Third and short, they elect to throw for it, and that's normal NFL football. They're going to throw on third and short, but you got to hit it, don't you?
Yeah, in the first quarter, like you said, to set the tone, can't connect there. So they get the turnover in plus territory. The drive stalls out, but still able to get 3 out of it.
Yeah, we were able to see an offense and a defense kind of mix and match with each other, didn't we? Both of them trying to make sure that they had the upper hand and the advantage. Offense trying to get to the end zone. Defense, of course, trying to hold them to a field goal attempt. And it wasn't a guaranteed lock 3 from where they started. So, the offense has to be happy to come away with those 3 points.
The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. Not only are they in search of their first score, they're in search of their first down in this ball game as they come up 1st and 10. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. Well, this defense for the Saints, they had certainly had their struggles to start the season, but they put it all together in getting that first victory a week ago.
And I don't know what the actual percentages are, and I don't know the analytics when you create 5 turnovers or takeaways in a game. But coaches always say, when you create a number that high, your chances of winning probably up over 98%. I haven't seen that number quantified, but I believe them.
First time that they called his number tonight, and it gets him a first down.
And partner, they're locked in man coverage out left, and they end up running a crossing route. Rounded it a little bit more than a slant. He's just going to angle himself towards the right side of the field, and that's very difficult for a defender to shadow him across all that ground.
A lane opens up that time as he'll be brought down just short of a first after a gain of about 9.
It's a gain of 9. Brings up 2nd and a yard.
6-0 our score after 1.
That's the end of the first quarter with the score Saints 6. Packers 7.
The previous run, good for 9. Here's 2nd and a yard. Now a draw play. This is Jones. And he'll be brought down at the 48-yard line. 2 yards, good enough for a first.
I know what you're thinking out there. I know a lot of people are thinking, take a shot downfield. It's a great spot for it. I'd say maybe later in the game, definitely in the second half. Right now, I think they were just trying to get some momentum built.
Now look out, Rodgers lost the football. And this is picked up by the Saints. The big man, get the oxygen tank ready. And he's into the end zone. A fumble return and a Saint touchdown. And Charles, look at the big fella. What a rumble that was. Scoop it, but then take it the rest of the way for the touchdown.
And now you know they're going to have to hear about it from now on. The defensive backs, he's going to want to run with them, do their drills, the whole deal. He thinks he's the pace setter now.
It doesn't matter what happens in practice this week, he's smiling. Looks good on the extra point. And the lead now stands at 13. And you can bet they're preaching 2 hands on the ball here as the kick's away following that fumble return. This is going to be returned from the middle of the end zone. And he's able to get this across the 20, but not by much as he's marked out officially at the 21. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway.
And in just about every game we see, partner, what do we do when we look at the stat sheet? We go right to
the turnover differential.
Without a doubt, because when we see that, that pretty much tells the tale of the game. And I know there's still plenty of time to go, but you've got to take care of the football in order to win it.
First play of the drive going for 14 and a first down.
And this was a nice example of an offensive coordinator scheming his guy open. Just a little underneath route, just trying to free up some space, and it worked awfully well. Got him not just space, but plenty of room to run after the catch to pick up really nice yardage.
How he got away from that first tackler, no idea, but he did, and it winds up with positive yardage. Good job there keeping him to a short gain. Of course, he's coming off a really terrific performance, reigning NFC Defensive Player of the Week.
And I know people get caught up in, well, if you're the reigning Defensive Player of the Week, you must have made a bunch of spectacular plays. I think you mixed in a few of those, but most of the plays are just like we saw there. Keep them to short gains, make the fundamental tackle.
3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. Now it's Rodgers. Open man, Amari Rodgers, complete. And they're able to work this across midfield to the 48.
As a general rule, offensive linemen like to know where their quarterback's going to be when he's setting up to throw the football. But sometimes they just have to get on the run, get on the move. He was able to do that on that play and picks up a first down with a nice throw.
Rodgers now on first down. And a big loss here as he's taken down. Cameron Jordan has now recorded 10 sacks on the season.
Well, someone's closing in on the league lead in sacks. He came into the game in the top 5. Now you add 2 more to his total.
Sacks, a growing theme in this first half. This is 2nd and long. On the delay, Jones. And he's dropped right at the 40. Gain of 3.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense. And guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on the quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature to make sure you don't get hurt.
On 3rd and long, it's Rodgers. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by the corner, Bradley Roby. And the Saints are going to take over at their own 41.
When a team's turned it over 3 times in the first half, we just look at the offense and say, guys, what are you doing? But instead, we really should be looking at the defense. They've created the takeaways. 2 interceptions, 1 caused fumble. They played awfully well swarming to the ball here in the first half.
Kamara there with a first down carry, but not much running room, and he takes it forward for only a couple. It's 2nd down.
They suspected it was a power play up the middle coming at them, and boy, were they right. That defense got downhill in a hurry and limited them to just a couple on first down.
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. Up the middle. It's Brooks. And he still has yet to get on track in this first half as they're going to stop him behind the line. It'll be a loss of a full 3 yards there, and it also brings up 3rd down. Right where this set of downs started, they need a full 10 here to pick up the first down and move the chains. On 3rd down, Winston. Pass incomplete, but the flag in the backfield, and this might be a roughing call. Now, you don't want to see that penalty at any point, but it adds a little extra to it when it comes on 3rd down.
It certainly does, because if this were a boxing match, they had him on the ropes there. 3rd down incompletion, 4th down upcoming. Instead, that mistake resets everything back to first down, which means they have to stay on the field longer to try and stop this drive.
And he's corralled, but not before getting it inside the 35. They get 10 more there, and I believe that'll be enough for another first down. It will. They'll try to throw now. Winston. Trying to get it to Thomas, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Jair Alexander. And the Packers Packers are going to have it here at their own 32-yard line. So this defense coming up with a takeaway, and maybe that's something that can bring a little life to that sideline.
Well, I don't want to say that they've been sleepwalking through this first half because that's simply not true, but you're right. We haven't seen a lot of fire from these guys, really, on either side of the ball. So maybe that's the catalyst that they needed to get them back into this game.
A throw left side to start out. That's complete. And he'll be out of bounds after getting this one across the 40. Now, I know it's an emotional game, Charles. You can't do that.
And when you get into your film sessions and you argue your case with your coaches, that's exactly what they say at the end. You just can't do it. It costs your team.
So the yellow flag came out, and that leads to a new set of downs for this offense. 1st and 10. Throwing now is Rodgers. And the Saints pressure gets him. Brought down for a sack. Cameron Jordan in there to get him yet again. That is his 3rd sack tonight. They can't figure him out. So that now 4 first-half sacks. This pass rush has been unrelenting.
And, partner, you hear that sound of paper being ripped to shreds? That's a game plan that they've had so far because they've got to say to themselves right now, we have to do something differently.
And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. Pass protection has been a problem all night long as they come up facing 2nd and a bundle. Here's Rodgers to throw. Open man left side. It's the tight end, Tunyon.
We didn't need to ask around the league, but we got to confirm this guy's a good player. They've got to find a way to get him more involved, call a few more plays that target him.
Absolutely, because here we are toward the end of the first half, and that's the first target, not just the first catch, first target. New Orleans adding some depth to the secondary. They've got 6 DBs out there now for 3rd. Rodgers now to throw. Under pressure, and down he goes. Give the sack to David Onyemata, the product of Nigeria by way of Canada. Well, Charles, this has been something to watch so far. This is where you really feel for a quarterback. He's been running for his life in this first half.
Brandon, that's 5 sacks already, so you know he's got to be saying, can we get some more guys in here to block, please? Because if we don't, we're going to need another quarterback.
So on 4th down, on is the punter, Pat O'Donnell, to kick it away. His first punt, 45 yards. This looks good as well. 42-yard punt, 6 on the return. And that will come the offense as they take over. The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. There was still more than a minute to go in the half. Time to try to mount a drive.
And I would think that they would have to. This is today's NFL. You got to push it whenever you get an opportunity. You could never have enough points with the high-powered offenses that you face. And analytics will tell you, try and score when given the opportunity.
So after the incompletion, 2nd and 10 from the 22. They go play action. Winston. Blitz coming, and down he goes. The Packers going to use one of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Well, last game he had 2 sacks. Got another one here, picked up right where he left off.
Brandon, he spent the entire offseason working on new moves, new techniques, trying to add to his arsenal of pass rush moves. Certainly paying dividends in what we've seen so far.
On 3rd down, here's Kamara. And he'll get this one up to about his 14. Now a second timeout called for by the defense.
We often talk of situational football. Let's just call it team football. The defense did their job, got off the field, brought up a punting situation, so they're turning the ball back over to their offense. You think those guys will get along very well right now? Of course they will. Defense helped the offense.
Now it's their turn to take it downfield.
It's a 40-yard punt, 6 yards on the return, and it'll be Packer football here. First down and 10. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. And with great starting field position and one timeout in their pocket, they could still come away with points here in the late going. And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete.
But there's an incompletion, partner, and the struggles through the air continue because so far their lack of passing production has led to a lack of points.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. To throw, it's Rodgers. Toward the left sideline, but it's incomplete.
Well, after incompletions on 1st and 2nd down, it certainly seems like a reflection of what we've seen so far in this game. The defense, quicker to the punch so far. Let's see if they can get something going here on 3rd down.
So back-to-back incompletions, and that has them staring at a 3rd and 10. Throwing is Rodgers. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
Give them credit for excellent coverage, tight coverage. They're doing a lot of things that we talk about in basketball. They're causing disruptions in the passing game. And as long as that continues, it'll be tough for them to gain any momentum throwing the ball downfield.
They'll go for it. It's Rodgers. He hits Dobbs on the crosser. And he is going to have a Packers first down as they manage to convert. And that'll keep the drive alive. Give them 18 on that play, and Green Bay has the first as well. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. Rodgers again now. And that is incomplete. Now the coverage a little too good there, and it's 2nd down.
As this old brain remembers, when I see 5 wide receivers on the field as a defender, I know the ball's coming out high. They expected it and got there and popped it free.
On play action, Rodgers. And this one incomplete. Oh, he couldn't hang on to it in the end zone. And that's one that'll haunt you. And now it brings up 3rd down. So another incompletion there. He's hitting on fewer than half his pass attempts in this one, and that is not a winning formula.
Yes, let's make sure we give a little bit of credit to the defense here. They give him a lot to think about, a lot of different looks, and he seems a little bit confused trying to complete passes.
Now play number 7 of the drive as they're looking at a 3rd and 10. Again, they'll throw with Rodgers. And that will be incomplete.
I think it's safe to say that he's made some questionable decisions out there so far. Forced some throws into tight coverage. He's already been picked off in this game. 4th down now. But he was fortunate on that one. Not to have another turnover on his ledger.
The kick by Sanders is good. And they will indeed get on the board here, but still trailing. It's now 13-3. Well, still trailing here, but they do get the late field goal. Now their defense will try to keep this score right where it is heading into the locker room.
Yeah, and trailing at the break, you obviously don't want to go in off of a negative play. Give them credit for that one. Finding a way to put points on the board. Give them any type of a spark, anything to build off of as they try and plan a comeback.
Getting set for their next drive, the New Orleans offense. Already enjoying a 2-score lead here late in the 2nd quarter. Not a ton of time left. We'll see if they can work this at least into field goal range and try to get 3 to add on even more to their lead. Now we'll get a quick timeout called by New Orleans, number 2, as it'll come with 15 seconds to play in the first half. So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. They'll keep it on the ground again here. And he'll be upended at the 28-yard line. Just a 3-yard gain there. Now a timeout signaled for, and they'll get it with 10 seconds to go before halftime. The Packers bringing in an extra member of the secondary here to try for the third down stop. They'll keep it on the ground. Brooks. And they will get to him behind the line, but the clock continues to tick down. So it's halftime here in New Orleans with the Saints out in front. As we send you on over to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman in our EA Sports Halftime Report. Take it away, Coach. Welcome back. Halftime over. We are ready for quarter number 3 alongside Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gordon. Set now to go for the third quarter. The Saints have the lead and set to receive the kick. The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. And they've got the lead. CD, what do you think the message was at halftime?
I don't think the message was too drastic, I think, at the half, or that they need to change things too much. I do think the offensive line could play a little bit better. I think they'll try and help them out more. They'll probably keep a tight end in a few more times and maybe add a running back to the formation and pick up those pass rushers, because they probably allowed a few too many sacks for comfort in the first half.
After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5. Winston. And, he's unable to hold on to that defensively. A potential game changer, but it falls incomplete.
Well, this at least is the right idea. I think they've got to get the tight end more involved.
He had just 1 target in the first half, incomplete. Now incomplete here with the first target of the second half.
Yeah, should not stop them.
Now the Packers give him nowhere to go, and they bring him down. The sack goes to Chris Barnes.
They need to stop to get back into this game, and here's one right to start the third quarter.
Yeah, anytime you go to the lockers with that 2-3 score deficit, you're right. You need that stop, get the football back, and they've done just that.
Series to series, play to play.
And taken right at the 35. A pretty good punt there, but also a nice return of 12 yards. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. And, Charles, they're certainly still right in this game, but they need that offense to wake up and in a hurry.
Yeah, I like the way you put it. They certainly did seem to sleepwalk a bit in the first half. Now that their defense has done its job, it's their turn now to go out and try and get some points.
Taken down by Pete Werner.
Well, it's not time to get them established, but in my estimation, they've got to pick up the urgency here. They've got to get quickly in and out of the huddle and run off a bunch more plays.
Here's a 4-receiver look now. 3 of those guys out to the right side on 2nd and 8. On play action, it's Rodgers. He's got the hook up to Lazard. And they're going to get this to about the 44-yard line. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Rodgers with a give. It's Aaron Jones. He's not going to get there. That won't even be close. It was blown up in the backfield. Losing 2 yards that time, and now it's 4th down.
This defense is just flat getting after it. They have not given up much of anything in the run game. Case in point right there.
Rodgers going to go on 4th down. And Rodgers intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off by Paulson Adebo. And the Saints will have solid field position here as they take over at their 45-yard line. Getting set for their next drive, the New Orleans offense. They'll start following the interception in great field position at the 45. And this will be taken across midfield and into Green Bay territory. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave it with a 2nd and 3.
But no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on first down, that fits the bill.
On 2nd down, it's Brooks. And this won't be enough to pick up the first. A gain of 2, 3rd and 1. Pretty good job defensively. Thought he was going to get it, but they knew where that marker was, and they stopped him just short of it.
What it does is emphasize that strategic football and situational football is not just played on the offensive side, is it? Defense understanding, as you noted, where the first down marker was and making sure they didn't get there.
Here's Kamara trying to run for it. And he's got the first down yardage before he's brought down at the 42. A 3rd down gain of 3 yards, and that'll be enough.
There are a lot of different formulas to winning football, but one constant over the years, winning on 3rd down. That pickup there was big because they had struggled throughout this one.
They'll run on first down. It's Brooks down inside the 40.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time, and making it work.
From the 39-yard line, here comes 2nd down at 6. Winston to give, it's Kamara. And he'll take this one down to the 36. Throwing, Winston. And that is incomplete.
How about this defense? They came up with a couple of big plays in this sequence, and none better than the one right there, forcing the incompletion and bringing up 4th down.
The kick by Lutz is good, and the lead stretches 16-3 now. So the lead extended. I think at this point you say, hey, defense, take us to the end.
Well, if I got some good music to put to that, I could have a good country hit. I like the way you expressed yourself there. I think the offense has done enough so far. But like you said, if your defense is only giving up 3 points, makes it a lot easier to settle for field goals on this side of the ball.
The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. And 3 interceptions in this game. I would have to think, I wasn't a quarterback, but number 4 is kind of, you're like, oh, man, I can't throw 4.
No, and what's interesting is, what do the coaches decide to do now? Having thrown 3, do you alter your offensive strategy? Do you take the ball out of his hands and maybe turn to the running game? Or do you have that supreme confidence that he's going to turn things around?
We'll see what they do. A good gain on first has him set up with 2nd and just a couple of inches now from the 29. They'll go again to Jones. Officially, it's no gain on the play, and they'll remain a few inches shy of a first with 3rd down looming. And they started to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe he'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
And for the 4th time tonight, it's an interception. Picked off by the Honey Badger, Tyrann Mathieu. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown.
And Charles, for this offense, those interception woes they kind of had in the first half have now followed them into the second half. And for this defense, they take advantage, turn that into a pick 6.
And that defense is in a spot now where they're thinking about ways to close this game out. And as confidently as they've been playing, I expect them to do exactly that.
Lutz with the extra point, and that pushes the lead up to an even 20. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6, and now the kick is away. They'll elect to bring it out here from the end zone. Now a hit and a loose football. And this is picked up by the Saints. And they're going to set up shop at the 27-yard line. So problems compounding themselves. And now, as with every potential turnover, they're going to take a second look at this just to make sure. So that one overturned. They say the knee was down, and that will not be ruled a fumble. Now Rodgers to try again after the pick six. Just a gain of a couple there. And that will bring up second down. Now Rodgers. That is caught. It's the tight end, Tunyon. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. A big pickup of 38. Now look, you're not going to be able to get this all back at once, but that certainly helps.
So you're saying 3 yards in the cloud of dust, not the strategy?
I go aerial attack.
Yeah, I think that's what has to happen. And if you're going to run it...
And Rodgers is going to go down. He's sacked. Cameron Jordan make that now 4 sacks for him in tonight's ball game. Well, collectively as a defense, Charles, I think if you get 4 sacks a game, you're feeling really good. Now they have 6 as a unit.
And that type of a number, it's just staggering because there's so many ways to try and counteract it. But in this case, they've got no answers for this unrelenting pressure coming at their quarterback.
That one covers 29 yards, first down. 1 quarter remains here in this Thursday night matchup. So from inside the 20, here's 1st and 10 at the 18. Now Rodgers. And he's going to go down. They sack him back right around the 30. Cameron Jordan, my goodness, make that now 5 sacks for him in this ball game. Really turning in an incredible performance. Pass protection has been a problem all night long as they come up facing second and a bundle. Another try after the first down sack. Rodgers. And on the left sideline, he caught it, but out of bounds, according to the head linesman. Incomplete, so the ball a little late getting there, and it's 3rd down.
I know conventional wisdom says, hey, don't get it all back in one play. But sometimes you go ahead and try to. They tried to get it all back on that one. Weren't able to do so.
7th play of this drive coming up, but a long way to go on 3rd down. They'll send Rodgers in motion right. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Oh, this will be incomplete. The rush gets home just as he was letting that go. That could have been worse. Instead, it's 4th down.
They lead big, and a major part of that has been how they've taken their play to a whole new level this second half. No points allowed since the break, and you can add another incompletion to the total number that they forced in this runaway contest.
Sanders' kick is good, and that will move the deficit from 20 down to 17. On the grand scheme of things, those 3 points likely not going to matter much, but I guess they get a little closer, a little more respectability.
Yeah, you're exactly right. They've been outplayed all game long, but like my mom used to tell me all the time before I went out, dress up a little bit, son. Make yourself respectable. And that's what they're doing here. They're just dressing up the final score.
And it's a pretty good return here, so he'll get this up to the 29. The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. Well, the win for them at this point seems pretty assured. I mean, still a decent amount of time left here in the 4th quarter, Charles, but you got the football, you're up 3 scores. They have to be feeling really good about where they're at.
I love your observation skills, partner, because I think you saw them charge onto the field fired up about another chance to get into the end zone. Looks to me like this group is ready to crush any hope left on the opposing sideline, and they want to do it with some gusto, too.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. They'll keep it on the ground. Brooks. And he'll get a couple up to the 29.
That's it. That's what you want. Straight ahead positive gain. Just keep that clock ticking.
Brings up 3rd and 9.
The offense on 3rd down tonight, they've struggled to the tune of 2 for 8 so far. This is 3rd and 9. Now this will be a jet sweep. Here's Thomas with it. And they're going to mark him down short, maybe by about a yard, if that. He's able to chew up 8 yards on the carry there, but still 4th down upcoming. Here comes the Saints punter now as he's on to kick it away. Fielded just inside the 20. A 40-yard punt, 1 yard on the return, and they will take over 1st and 10. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. You see a lot of frustrated faces as they are inching closer to a 4th straight loss. And he stopped right at the 25 after a gain of 5.
A gain of 5 brings up 2nd and 5 at the 25-yard line.
From the 25 on 2nd down, Rodgers. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
And that's another play that's painted the picture of this game overall. It's been a blowout. It's been continually fueled by big turnovers and stops for one side and an inability to advance the ball from the other.
To throw is Rodgers. Man open, here is Jones. And not much happening there. He's taken down, but a late penalty flag in the backfield. Now, this looks like a roughing call. Maybe a critical mistake at this juncture as now they've got a 1st and 10. From the gun, it's Rodgers. He's got Tunyon complete over the middle. And they're going to get this down to about the 17-yard line here. Defensively here, you've got the cushion, but back-to-back pretty big pass plays there. Bend but don't break, but are they bending too much?
I think that they are. To me, it'd be like playing basketball, and you put up a token press. Make sure you get up there and make them eat up some time. Make it a little bit of resistance so they can't just run it right down your throat.
It's a gain of 8. Brings up 2nd and 2.
Now whistles here, flag down. I think one of the Packer linemen was moving. False start. Here's 2nd and 7. Here's Rodgers. And that one's going to be off target and incomplete.
In a game that hasn't gone your way, you've got to throw in the end zone at every opportunity and hopefully climb back in as much as possible. He put way too much on that throw, though, and that shot ends up with nothing.
They head to the line facing a 3rd and 7 following the incompletion on 2nd down. Rodgers going to throw. And my goodness, another interception. Marcus May with a pick. And the Saints are going to take over here on the INT at their own 5-yard line. Boy, they get him yet again, Charles. 5 interceptions in this game. You rarely see this, maybe a couple of times in a season, but this defense, they've been fantastic.
It's certainly an example of watching a defense that is in the zone, right? We use that term so often, but most of the time, it's for people who are on offense. In this case, it's a defense as a whole, all locked in with each other, all ready to go.
Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again, 2nd and 10. Trying to run down some clock with Kamara. And again, the run defense stout this time. He maybe gets back to the line of scrimmage, but no more. No gain that time, and it leaves him with 3rd and 11 coming up. Facing the prospect of a punt from their own end zone, they need some cushion. Let's see what they can do on 3rd down. Back near his own goal line, Winston finding Taysom Hill complete. A big-time play there for New Orleans. And even 40 yards.
No let up in this passing game. They've been a well-oiled machine throughout. And I actually saw a few guys on the sidelines at the end of the 3rd quarter doing the old hold up 4 fingers college sign, meaning the 4th quarter is ours. And they certainly weren't kidding.
On 1st down, it's Brooks. And this will be taken across midfield and into Green Bay territory. And now, defensively, they're going to burn their first time out. Remember, they get an extra time built in coming up here shortly at the 2-minute warning. Play fake. Winston. That's going to be caught downfield by Hill. A big-time play there for New Orleans. 43 yards. They'll run on 1st down. It's Brooks. And he'll take it into the end zone for the Saints touchdown. A great play there with his 4th rushing touchdown on the year. And the Saints are looking to make it 2 straight as they add on to this 4th quarter lead. What's good on the extra point. And the lead is now 24. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. Fields it right around the goal line. And he'll take it a yard or so past the 20, call it the 21. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. Where we stand right now in the 4th quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but the self-inflicted wounds, they've had several turnovers. You have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film session in the coming days.
You're absolutely right about that, partner, because they're going to have to sit in that film room and watch every error that they made and figure out how to not do it in the future. And mentally, I think a lot of the guys are already starting to think about, okay, how do we put this behind us and get better for the next time out? This, they'll use as motivation for the rest of the time that they play to hopefully never be in this type of situation again.
Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. Throwing now is Rodgers. That is knocked away and incomplete, but a penalty flag. In the backfield, this might be a roughing call. Maybe a critical mistake at this juncture as now they've got a 1st and 10. Rodgers now to throw. He's got the hook up with Dobbs. And he's going to be taken down. Plus, there's a penalty flag in the backfield. They may get 15 more on top of this. So a critical mistake, roughing the passer. Now it's 1st and goal. Here's Rodgers to throw. He'll wind up getting right about 4 there on the scramble, and it's 2nd down.
A 4-yard gain brings up 2nd and goal at the Saints 6-yard line.
To throw, it's Rodgers. Throw right side, hauled in by Dobbs. 5 yards that time on the completion. And now it's 3rd and goal. Now it's Rodgers. And it's a Packers touchdown. Amari Rodgers, his second touchdown on the season. And the Packers are finally into the end zone here in this fourth quarter. Rodgers will throw for it. On the move to his left. He's got it. So they convert the two. That keeps their slim hopes alive as we're back to a two-score game. Well, it's still an uphill battle from here, that's for sure, but that makes it a two-score game.
And now we see why teams practice so much on the two-point conversion, why you have more than one play ready, because you may need multiples throughout a ball game. Here's a great example right there.
They knew they needed a miracle. They had to have that onside kick. They didn't get it.
Well, as we knew, even before they put the toe to the leather on that one, their chances of getting that done, slim and none. And I do believe we saw Slim just leave the door, didn't we?
We did indeed. I think we're down to none. Now the Packers going to go ahead and use the second of their timeouts, as the clock will stop with 45 seconds left to go in the game. I guess the simple question, why not just take a knee there?
I don't understand either why you would take any sort of a chance. We've seen it happen in the game of football. It doesn't matter whether you watch high school, college, or the NFL. Some people get a little greedy, try to get that extra running play in, and it can backfire on them.
Now the defense will burn their third and final timeout as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the game. The first down line at the 34 here on third down. They'll keep it on the ground. Brooks. And he is going to lose yardage here. Not at all what they envisioned on third down. 3 yards in the wrong direction. Hey, a lot of points have been scored in this game against them, but tally that one on the side of the defense.
Do you think maybe, possibly, it can be a little bit of a changer for them? Maybe not a game changer, but a little bit of a momentum one that maybe they can string together some pretty good plays and slow them down.
So this one, a victory here for New Orleans. I tell you what, I can't remember a defensive performance as good as this one. They seemingly forced turnover after turnover after turnover every time you turn around.
Yeah, you can just keep going with it, can't you? After turnover. As this game unfolded, they were doing all the dictating, right? They told the offense exactly how it was going to go down today. So you saw them deflate with every series, didn't you? Every time they ran onto the field, it was slower and slower to get to the football because they just felt like if we go out there, we're just going to turn it over anyway. So it was really, really a stellar performance.
So for the Saints, they move a step closer to 500 as their record improves to 2-3.